Hey everybody, today I'm going to talk a little bit about the joys of owning your own home in Japan. So, a few years ago, I bought my own house, and it has been really nice to have my own place and a place that I know I don't have to go pay somebody else's mortgage, quite frankly. Because I have permanent residency, I was able to get the bank loan with a little help from the real estate agent, even though the permanent residency wasn't quite finished yet. The fact that I had already applied was good enough for the bank. Plus, I've been at my job for quite a while. So I put on my shoes and hit the internet and went out and hit all of the Japanese real estate websites. Found about 12 houses that I thought would be appropriate for me and took those to a real estate agent and made him show me all the houses, whether I could afford them or not, much to his displeasure, but that's okay. In the end, I landed here. This is an older home. It's a little over 30 years old, and so it was a bit cheaper than something new. Okay, a lot cheaper than something new. Now, the house does have issues. It's kind of tilty a little bit, and eventually, if there's a really, really big earthquake, it'll probably fall down. Hopefully, all my stuff won't die too. But I have insurance. Yay. But when you have an older home and you don't have a landlord, then when things break, you need to fix them yourselves. So I had this particular situation I found down in my living room. Fantastic. I was overjoyed. So I figured out where I think the leak was, probably here in the front balcony on the second floor. So the second floor front balcony is a little tilted, so like I said, when it rains in, the water shifts down to one end and somehow it's found its way down to my main tatami room. Fantastic. In the face of the hurricane coming up this next week, I went out and I bought some silicone caulk stuff and tried to repair the leak. Now I still have to end up going down and take out part of the ceiling downstairs and get that fixed, and I may end up having to redo the whole ceiling just because I don't know if I can find the same type of boards that match, and I'm not terribly concerned about it anyway because it's just me. I'm not worried. Now, I could bring in a company and actually do an actual reform, which would mean basically for this house, I would have to redo the foundation and then we could talk about doing the insides. When I did buy the house, it had a Japanese toilet in it. And as part of the negotiation for the real estate loan, I said, I'm going to need an extra amount of money to be able to remove this toilet and redo the floor in the kitchen. So all of that for me was just added into the price of the house. With the typhoon coming in, I'm hoping my little repair job here works okay. And I hope I'm not going to end up spending most of my time out on the balcony during the typhoon, sweeping water from one end of the porch to the other, because that doesn't sound like a lot of fun. But when you own your own house, anything that goes wrong, it's on you. So you got to make sure you take care of it. About 2 months after I bought the house, the water heater went out. And so it was an extra charge up on top of that. But I think I have about a 5-year warranty on the water heater, so it should be fine. Japanese always use inline water heaters because there's no space for a water tank. And inline water heaters are absolutely the way to go. They're fantastic. You never run out of hot water. So as far as the bank loan and stuff goes, it was fairly straightforward. I had to make sure that I had a Hanko that was registered, or Inkan, that was registered with the city hall, and had to get a whole bunch of copies of the registration verification certificate. Then I had the real estate agent do 90% of everything, and for that it was worth actually paying him his commission, so whatever. It worked out okay. Yeah, I overpaid for the house, but I needed to learn how to do it, and I needed to get into my own place, and I was on a kind of a time limit because I was out of my other place. So it worked out okay. I really like the house. I really like the location. It's very convenient, and I'm really happy here. Some other things that are different between Japan and the US, I have to set up my own insurance for the house. So the people who are insuring my car also insure the house. Not terrible. The insurance actually is much cheaper than it is back in the US. Taxes on a place like this are very, very reasonable. You have to pay in 4 installments over the year, and this house is fairly cheap. Like fairly cheap as in not even $100 a month would break down to. So I'm very happy about the taxes. Although I expect that will probably go up at some point, but it's an old house and they don't tax those as much. Old houses and new houses get a little bit of a tax break. Old houses because the value on them is more the value in the land, and new houses because they want you to buy new houses so you get a tax break for a couple of years. I know. Somebody's going to ask me, well, how much do you pay a month and how much was the cost of the house? And I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear what you said. At some point, I may talk about that a little bit, but not right now. One of the conditions on the loan for the house was an actual piece of insurance by the bank, and this is different, very different from the U.S. If I die, the house is paid for. Whereas in the U.S., I don't think anywhere offers that insurance. So if I pass away, the house is completely paid off by the bank, and then I can pass it on to my brother or whatever. And that was mandatory. I didn't have a choice. I had to get that option because the bank didn't want to be saddled with this house if I'm gone. And I also don't have a guarantor on the house, so it's just me. Now, with the next house that I buy, I'll probably have to have this house as collateral for the next loan. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's part of the joys of owning your own home in Japan and trying to figure out how to get the repair materials is a trip to the home center. And home centers are always fun. If you want, maybe at some point I'll take you down to the local Royal Home Center near here, or maybe Konan or something like that, if you're interested. All right, if you are interested, please let me know. You can leave a comment down in the link below. You can subscribe on the final screen because I don't want to put the annotation up here, but I may do it anyway. And I think that's going to be about it for today. So I will talk to you real soon.